On this edition of Penn State Access Granted, we'll take a look at THON. We'll also take a look at the winter sports season, the spectacular basketball season for the Nittany Lions, and track at the Big Ten Championships. The winter sports season is winding down, and the Penn State men's and women's track and field teams once again have done very well. The men finished third at the Big Ten Championships. Ryan Foster was the champion in the 800. Clarence Smith was the winner in the triple jump. The women took second place at the Big Ten Championships. And as for the 4x400 relay team, steady as usual. Fawn Dorr, who also won the 400, was joined by Siobhan Graves, who won the 60 and 200, along with Gayle Hunter and Alicia Barber. Speaking of Gayle Hunter, an opportunity now for her to go one-on-one with track's Mike Cadau.
All right, Gayle, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I'll go first. Who on the women's team is the funniest? Who lightens the mood?
Siobhan Graves, by far. Always has jokes, always has some smart comment to say, especially if Coach Johnson's around. Who on the men's team is the most intense and gets everybody fired up?
That's probably easy. That's an easy one. That's Ryan Taylor. He has that Jamaican accent. He always just comes out, gets everyone fired up, just gets a little life into everybody. He always gets us in a circle and just does his thing. Let's murder them. And this is my track. This is my runway. So I'd definitely say Ryan Taylor. What makes the 4x4 so unbeatable?
You just have four girls who are just really intense. You have four girls who don't like to lose, who know that we have the national championship title on the line as far as being undefeated from outdoors, and we're obviously going indoors knowing that we want the same thing. So all four girls, we're all on a mission, and with that being said, we're making sure nobody beats us. Are you ever worried that your beard is hurting your aerodynamics?
Someone said that to me, especially because I used to have a ponytail. People have always said that my whole life. If you just cut your hair, you'd be a lot faster, but people don't realize that hair is weightless unless it's actually wet. I'm not running out here with a wet beard. So, I mean, me and all the guys, it's cold here in Pennsylvania, so we decided to grow our beards out to stay nice and warm during the winter. But it's almost time for the outdoor season. You can see them probably be trimmed up real soon. What's your favorite event in the HEP and why?
The long jump, because ever since when I was 6 years old, I was doing standing long jump, and I progressed from there. So long jump has always been the one event. I've done many events, but long jump is the one event that I've actually stuck with since I was 6, and I feel like I'm pretty decent at it, so it comes natural to me. So I feel like, you know, that's one of my main events. What is your favorite distance to run?
I just recently found out that I'm actually kind of fast. So I mean, now the 400. I hate the 800 when we do the 800. Definitely was not the 800. That guy goes way too long, and the 400 is nice and quick. It's short and sweet. So. What
do you feel about the men's track team not wearing sweats at practice?
That's an issue. No, Coach Johnson said something to us the other day because we didn't have our tops on. And he said to us, I mean, you guys, where's all your uniforms at? Where's your warm-ups at? He's like, you got to start looking professional and stuff. I mean, you tell the young guys, but they're a bunch of blockheads. I mean, they remember one day and they don't remember the next day. What are you most proud of at your time at Penn State?
Probably the 4x4 win thus far. 4x4 outdoor win. I mean, we were like the underdog. People kept counseling us out compared to LSU. And then, obviously, when we beat them at Penn relays, it kind of sparked it. And then coming back and beating them at nationals when they were the hype, they was supposed to win and the whole 9, but we came and, you know, gave them an upset. So that's probably my proudest moment up to this point.
Up to this point, I mean, you still got a long way to go.
Up to this point.
He's like a lot of big weekends ahead of you.
Yeah.
And plus, you got to defend a lot of the championships and stuff like that.
The Penn State wrestling team certainly had its ups and downs this season, but they did host the Big Ten Championships at the Bryce Jordan Center. Bubba Jenkins and Quentin Wright made it to the Big Ten Finals. As for Wright, he's a true freshman from Baldy area, just down the road from Penn State at Wingate. Well, it was certainly a thrill for him to wrestle in front of friends and families at a big championship.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. You know, I've won a lot of great matches, but I gotta say, wrestling in front of my hometown fans, and just I have thousands of people here. Just, you know, I know they want to watch me, and it's great. And whenever I'm down or whenever I'm up by a point and I need that extra energy to go out there and get another takedown, I can look in the fans, I can hear them screaming, and you know, sometimes I can pick out individual voices telling me, you know, Quentin, you can do it.
Coming up, we'll take a look at the Nittany Lion basketball team's outstanding season, their first 20-win season since 2001. And we'll also take a look at a very special event for Penn State. It's for the kids. Here at Penn State, we call it THON. With 7 national championship trophies on the mantle, the Penn State women's fencing team has put itself in a position for an 8th. The Nittany Lions are second only to Notre Dame in the polls, and now they have the firepower to win it all. Doris Willett and Caitlin Thompson were not with the team last season because they were at the Olympic trials. Willett, in fact, was an alternate on the U.S. Olympic team. This season, they are back and scoring points. Thompson is 26-5 on the season in sabre. Willett has returned to top form with a 28-4 mark in foil. Carrie Byards and Anastasia Furman have combined for 60 wins so far in that bay. Head coach Emmanuel Kadenoff has the depth to make a title run again, but the hurdle is going to be Notre Dame. Penn State is 13-1, but the only loss was to the Fighting Irish. At the national championships, they can erase that loss with style and pick up another national championship trophy for that mantle. The Nittany Lion basketball team, for the first time since 2001, put together a 20-win season. The Nittany Lions picked up victories over Purdue, a pair of wins over Illinois. They beat Michigan, Minnesota, and won for the first time ever at Michigan State. The Nittany Lions' most dramatic win was in the Jordan Center when they beat Illinois with .3 to go, and for head coach Ed DeChellis, a signature moment.
I think there was 2 great teams out there tonight. I thought it was 2 NCAA basketball teams out there tonight on national television. I mean, you can't draw it up any better. The crowd was great, students were unbelievable, and this is what we built for 6 years, trying to get people energized, trying to get people excited, and we got some kids who've done that, and I appreciate that very much.
The Nittany Lion basketball team won 20 games or better for the first time since 2001. They also had 10 victories in the conference for only the second time in school history, and they were 10-3 in games decided by 5 points or less.
We're doing a decent job running, but let's attack and get layups.
Goes around the pick to the free throw line, hangs in the air, throws it up off the glass, and good.
For the Lady Lion basketball team, certainly growing pains as the season went along. For Coach Reese Washington, her second season at the helm, the season came to a close in the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis against Illinois. It is the world's largest student-run philanthropy. At Penn State, it's just called THON. Students dance for 46 hours to raise money for the 4 Diamonds Fund at the Hershey Medical Center to benefit pediatric cancer research. Many athletes at Penn State enthusiastically join.
I saw the last 4 hours, and that was like one of my favorite parts, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I definitely want to dance for THON.
My sophomore year, so 2 years ago, I was asked to dance to represent Saab, and so I danced actually that year also.
The athletes are in great shape to start with, but it takes a lot to get ready for this.
Being an athlete, we have to work out anyways, so I had that covered.
We were actually talking about it a lot during the weekend, and I don't necessarily know if it's the physical aspect of it, but mentally, you've been through so much and you know you can make it through anything that you kind of won't let yourself back down from a challenge like that.
Being a student athlete, you have those tough lifts, so you have that mental capacity. So I was like, mentally, I'm definitely going to get through it and just kind of talk my way into it.
But this experience brings with it different emotions.
My mental state was pretty iffy. I was, you feel like, your brain's not really with your body. Your body's kind of doing your own thing, its own thing, but it's doing the right thing, luckily.
For some reason, for me, on Saturday night, it was too uplifting, and at the end of it, I was just like an emotional wreck. Like every time I saw someone, I wanted to start crying, and I have no idea why. I'm not normally like that, but I think the lack of sleep was starting to get to me.
To get through the grueling weekend, the athletes call upon their best friends.
I could not have gotten through THON if it wasn't for my team this year. They were so instrumental in me getting through it.
My teammates, one of them was there at least every hour of the 46 hours. My coach showed up, which was great. Some of them got to come on the floor.
Sporting events can unify a university community. That happens at Penn State. But during a special weekend in February, hearts come together as one.
I saw so many athletes, like even Dito now, current president, like everything, like everybody, and just to be dancing with Allie and all the other girls, and you definitely felt the support through the athletic community.
Just to see, those football and basketball players who are so much, on such a larger stage than so many other athletes, seeing them devote their time to a cause like this, it really means a lot. When it all comes down to it, everyone can relate to a cause like this, and it really makes you happy and kind of makes that Penn State pride spill out a little more.
A special moment for the families is when they get to go to the Lash Building, the home of Penn State football. They get to sit in the auditorium seats the players usually occupy.
On behalf of the Penn State football program, I want to welcome you. My name is Fran Gannard. I'm the Associate Athletic Director, and we've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and it is really one of the highlights of the year for our players, and I know they all look forward to it.
Every time we do it, it's a great time. We're putting smiles on these kids' faces, show them what we do each and every day in the football locker rooms and in the weight room. It's great, and to see them enjoy it, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Quarterback Daryl Clark and the Nittany Lion players take them to the inner sanctum, their locker room.
We had a couple people step on the ass and a couple of kids did some push-ups, and we showed them this is exactly what we do when people make mistakes like that. But, we give them nice gifts, and we have share stories with them, football stories, let them try on our padding and our helmets and things like that. So it's an all-around great time for 1 to 2 hours.
Jerome Hayes even has time to test out some 40 times in the locker room.
I'm happy I had Gayle, man. She's a little girl. She's full of energy. She knows her football. And she even wrote a note to Coach Paterno about recruiting her little brother for 15 years.
The players also get to hear the incredible stories.
In 2005, the month after her birthday, she was diagnosed with ALL, leukemia, and she was on treatment up until Februari of 2008. And ever since then, it's been a year that she's been off the treatment.
Jerome Hayes is fighting back from his second knee injury of his career. But in the kids and their families, he recognizes true courage.
We've got 7- and 9-year-old kids that have beat cancer. They're the real warriors. They're the real people that they make this event what it is. It's an opportunity to give back, and I enjoy it. And unfortunately, this is probably my last season able to do it. But I'll always remember this forever.
Try out the helmet.
Coming up on Penn State Access Granted, more from THON, dealing with the emotions, especially with the families and the kids around. Our student reporter Kylie Nellis will hang out with field hockey defender Amy Bonenberger to find out how student athletes rest and relax.
I'm Dr. Christine Clark, Director of Sports Nutrition for Penn State Intercollegiate Athletics. Coming up, I'll tell you about some of the best kinds of proteins for physical activity.
If you have a dream to make it come true, you gotta keep yourself believing in you. So don't give up, don't give in, stand tall, reach up, reach up, reach up, reach up, and make your dreams come true.
On the next Courtside with Coquise, it's all access at the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis. 3 Lady Lions seniors wrap up their careers.
This special coaching group that we have and the special team, it's just emotional for me.
And a look back at some special moments from the season.
Spins in the lane, puts up the shot. It's good! It's good!
Catch the Emmy Award-winning Courtside with Coquise, April 1st at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network.
What is the best kind of protein for physical activity? Excellent protein comes from both plant and animal-based foods, but foods such as milk, yogurt, eggs, and all forms of animal tissue like meat, Chicken, for example, turkey, even pork provide essential amino acids or building blocks of protein. Essential amino acids are necessary for growth and repair of damaged tissues due to physical activity. So eat a wide variety of protein sources from plants and animals. In fact, plants such as garbanzo beans or any other kind of bean such as lima beans or kidney beans, even soybeans provide a great source of protein. Even grains provide protein. So no matter who you are, no matter what sport you participate in, eat a wide variety of foods from plants and animals and get all the essential amino acids you need to build muscle and stay fit for physical activity.
Well, you certainly need plenty of energy to work out for 46 consecutive hours dancing for the kids. The families bring with them a special inspiration.
Family hour is always tough, but it's, you know, I will remember that for the rest of my life.
It's awesome when they do come because the kids are so wild, they like definitely wake you up and you're like, okay. And like you see what you are dancing for and you see this little girl who has no care in the world and she just has so much energy, always a smile on her face, bouncing around.
It's just something that stays in your face and it, you know, becomes a reality. Oh, you know, this is what I just did for the past 46 hours. Like I helped her family out. I made her life easier. So it brings it into focus.
But there are 3 words that sum up the weekend for everyone. For the kids.
They're just so excited about it. You never see a smile leave their face until they're so tired that they can't even stay up anymore.
They're lower than all the rest of us, so they couldn't really see. So at first, you know, they didn't really understand what was going on. And then we picked Isabella up and she saw the 7.5 and she knew it was more than last year. And she was just in shock and she didn't understand why everybody was crying, but she knew that something good was happening, so that just put a smile on all of our faces.
Penn State takes great pride in the event and where the money goes. That is why there is so much drama when the final total is announced.
Obviously it was so loud, but it's almost like that there was a silence gasp, that no one could believe that we really went $1 million over.
When the 7.4, you know, almost 7.5 million came up, you know, all you could do was cry.
When I saw the 7, I was ecstatic. I just started screaming, jumping up and down, and just embraced Renee.
The entire community takes pride in the event.
People talk about, you know, the athletics, you know, pride bleeds through the athletics, but really the university itself has a pride, and that really comes out in an event like THON when the entire university can get together to, you know, devote their time to one cause. I think it's just awesome, and it will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Amy Bonenberger started all 19 games for the Penn State field hockey team. Field hockey had the 2nd most athletes in the nation named to the academic team. As for Amy, her daily routine is packed. Class in the morning, practice, study time, basically a very, very busy day.
I wake up in the morning and usually we all have our classes in the morning to get them out of the way, eat a good breakfast and lunch, and then from there we go to practice. Our practice is from 3 to 6. Usually we go up early to do some individual work. After 6, you know, we kind of lounge around as a team in the locker room, and then we go home, you do dinner and your schoolwork, and you go to bed.
So it's a beautiful day here outside. You just got out of class. What are some things you like to do to kind of unwind when you're done with a long day?
I think I'm going to enjoy it and try and stay outside. We don't have practice today. We had it early this morning. So I'm going to go home, eat some lunch, and then go sit outside and maybe do some reading.
What do you like to read when you have time to read?
I'm a really big James Patterson fan. I like the murder mystery, and I like James Patterson, so he keeps me intrigued.
You know, it's summer, nice days outside to enjoy some creamery ice cream as we're here outside the creamery.
Yes, I was here one day in between classes. I tried to pack a dinner and it didn't turn out so well, so I just got ice cream for dinner. It was last week, so I got the peanut butter swirl with the vanilla. It was very good. I come here to treat myself every once in a while.
Is there anything you like to do with your friends outside?
When I lived in the dorms in McElwain, there was like a little cubby of grass, like a little courtyard, and we used to get a bunch of our guy friends to come out and play wiffle ball with us.
Okay.
We play wiffle ball all the time. You go outside in State College when it's warm out and everyone's outside doing something.
Is there any place that you, when you're not doing homework and you're not on the field practicing, that you really like to hang out on campus? You know, you have 5 minutes, you can sit down on the hub lawn, or is it and Old Main.
Okay, I like to sit out front in Old Main and just relax. There's a nice view of downtown that you just kind of overlook. So yeah, Old Main's relaxing.
We're coming up here on the Morgan Center, which is a new building.
It is relatively new, yeah.
Yeah, and so can you tell me a little bit about what goes on here?
In this building, all of my academic advisors are in here that go with different sports. So I go in here a lot to talk to my academic advisor. Right now, I actually just scheduled my classes for fall of 2009, so I need to go make sure that my schedule's okay with her and it doesn't conflict with any practice time. So I'm gonna go check on that with her, and I also have to do some printing before I go home from spring break, so I'm gonna go utilize the computer lab.
Amy, thanks for coming to hang out with us today. It was really great talking to you, and I know you guys won Big Ten championship this year.
Yep.
I hope you're just as successful on the field next year, and the classroom does you just as well.
Thank you.
Coming up on Penn State Access Granted, the Lady Lion basketball team, well, they have many looks, and they aren't all necessarily just blue and white. And we'll get to know one of the top gymnasts in the country, Casey Sandy.
Hey fans, it's time for your all-access advanced ticket look at what's coming up in the world of Penn State athletics. The temperatures are slowly warming up, and before you know it, it's time to start thinking about the king of aluminum bats over at Medler Field at LeBron Park. Mark your calendars. Penn State baseball home opener March 20th, 2:05 against New York Tech. Also, not too far across campus, Robin Petrini and the Penn State softball team get their home schedule kicked off on March 28th at 2 p.m. first pitch against the Northwestern Wildcats. We'll see if the Penn State fencing program can build on their long, storied tradition on March 19th when the NCAA fencing championships come right here to University Park in the Multi-Sport Center. We'll see what the Nittany Lions can do with the épée, foil, and saber. And even though it's quiet now, mark your calendars. Saturday, April 25th, Beaver Stadium comes back to life with the blue-white football game.
We've worn a variety of colors this year, and I'm going to take you through them. We've got our traditional home whites. We've got our traditional road blues. And this year, we introduced a new color into the fold, our grays. We've worn them both at home and on the road, and sometimes new traditions take some time to get used to.
I like the white ones. I'd rather see the white ones. We don't need gray. We're blue and white.
Well, I think the colors are already in the jersey. It's a nice compliment. I mean, a lot of the other sports teams are already blue and white. This differentiates them a little bit, but yet it still shows their school pride.
Penn State colors are blue and white, and that's what they should be playing in.
This day and age, everybody's doing something different, and especially when we do the pink once in a while and things like that, I think it's a nice change. Kind of, shakes it up a little bit.
But I will tell you this, our kids love playing in the grays. The last jersey is our Februari pink zone jerseys. Now, when we put on these jerseys, we know we're playing for something much bigger than basketball. We were the first team in the country to actually wear pink jerseys during our Februari pink game, and now it's a phenomenon that's spread all across the country. These jerseys are hugely popular, and when we auction them off after our pink zone game, they fetch a hefty price for a great cause.
My name is Casey Sandy from the men's gymnastics team, and I'm a senior. Well, besides myself, the best gymnast that I like to watch is actually Noam Shaham, mostly because he's the most explosive on the high bar. My favorite to watch on the girls gymnastics team has to be Brandy Personet, just because she's extremely explosive, especially on the floor exercise. My favorite event to do is probably the vault, mostly because it's the quickest and it also is the most explosive event. I love taking a day off, and especially like taking days off when we have morning practice, because I do not like this.
Coming up on the next Penn State Access Granted, find out more about how student athletes balance books and sports. We'll also go to opening day at Medler Field at LeBron Park. And at home, the fencing team goes after another national championship. Over the years, 14 fencers have combined for 21 national titles. You can see the next Penn State Access Granted on WPSU TV April 3rd at 10 p.m.
This has been a production of WPSU.